ComiXology doesn't have everything. And I think that should be the title of this video. Hello and welcome back to the Nightmare X Variety channel. If you don't know where you are, and you're wondering, what am I about? Well, normally I talk about comic books or video games. I don't play video games because I don't understand the software. It might as well be in another language. I just can't do it. I've tried 3 different softwares and it's not working. Anyways, so if you want to hear me talk about video games or talk about comic books, check out one of my more normal videos, but today I'm going to be doing an app review of ComiXology. So I went to ComiXology trying to find older comics, or find information on certain characters that haven't been in newer comics. One in particular thing that I wanted to find, and I am sad that I couldn't, was this one Spider-Man annual back in the 70s that talked about, or showed, a villainous group that hasn't been around since that one comic. I'm talking about the Spider Squad, and I know it's pretty silly looking now, but if we modernize it, it could be dangerous and not cheesy. If we make them look modern, it could be not cheesy. Imagine Strongman, the muscle of the Spider Squad, with an actual wolf spider-like appearance. You know, he's covered in gray fur, he's got actual hands and not crab claws that don't fit at all, and he doesn't have, like, a costume. His clothes are just ripped, and his head is that giant spider head. Like, just imagine that. It doesn't look stupid anymore. It actually looks pretty cool. And I would like to see that in modern comics. But we're not going to, so it's up to me to make fan fiction and possibly include them. I mean, I'll do my best. I'll try to remember them when I get to a point where I can add them. But anyways, ComiXology doesn't have that one annual that they're in. It doesn't have it. It also doesn't have this one issue that involved Dr. Doom and Spider-Man, where Dr. Doom made a mirror copy of Spider-Man through magic. I don't know, this is also a really old comic. But anyways, it gave us a character by the name of Webman, and he's a evil Spider-Man mirror duplicate that I don't know, I don't understand. And there's no information. Like, if you go to Webman's article on fandom, it says, history of character has not yet been written, or something like that, which means it's out there, but no one took the time to write it in the article. So, I want to learn more about Webman, and I want to learn more about the Spider Squad, but I can't, because neither of those comics are on ComiXology. And those are one-issue comics, so, or one issue is all I need to learn everything about those guys. Now there are some other comics that are on ComiXology that I can use to get information on a certain character. The Hulk comic where the Amazing Spider, an alternate version of Spider-Man, is first introduced as Ghost Spider, a Spider-Man Ghost Rider amalgamation. That's on ComiXology, and I'm looking to possibly get it by, I don't know, maybe the 28th. Depending on what kind of money I have, that's a possibility that I'll get that. But, anyways, another comic that I could get is the one that introduces us to Patton Parnell, another alternate version of Spider-Man, and he's evil. Well, it's not even an alternate version of Spider-Man, it's just a guy in another reality, and he has similar powers to Spider-Man, but on a much bigger scale and dark. Like, he has 4 arms and 4 legs, and he can bite someone and impregnate them with spiders through his bite. This guy wraps people in webbing like cocoons and hangs them from the ceiling. I mean, I want to learn more. So, I want to get the comic that introduced him, and that's on ComiXology, and I'll possibly do that in the future. But I don't know. My history with ComiXology has been kinda good, I guess. When I had my free trial, I read Totally Awesome Hulk Volume 1, and I really liked it. Now, there were some things I didn't like, but overall, I thought it was a good story. The art changed, not in good ways. You know, there were inconsistencies, I mean. And that wasn't okay. The spaceship that Lady Hellbender used was really simple in design. Like, why was it so simple? We couldn't even tell where the bridge was and where the pilot would be. Like, that's not okay. So, if anyone was piloting it, are we gonna know how it got around? Anyways, another thing that was on ComiXology that I was going to read, and then I ran out of my free trial, is the Top 10. So that's a very obscure DC team, and I don't know why people just forgot about it. It used to do really well, or it did really well when it was a thing. Now that it's not a thing, it's not even remembered. So yeah, I got the Top 10. I was about to read through it. I think I read through the first page, and then I ran out of my free trial. So, I'm gonna buy it eventually. I have a lot of stuff on my wish list now. I have the first 4 volumes of Berserk, and I'm really glad those are on there because I've heard a lot of great things about Berserk, but it's from the 80s, so I don't know where else I would get information about it. So, I bought the first 4 volumes, or I put them on my wish list. I'm going to buy them. And there was this Scarlet Witch series that Marvel was doing, but they only got out 4 issues, and that's on my wish list, and I'm looking forward to getting that. So, I mean, it's not, I've not had a bad experience with ComiXology, it's just that I guess I wouldn't use it a lot, aside from using it to research characters. I collect comics to read, and I intend to read them again and again when I buy physical copies. It doesn't work when I buy a physical copy and there's no context. Like, it's just one issue. There's nothing before and there's nothing after. There is, but I don't have it. So with ComiXology, you can get an entire volume at once. Sometimes. I couldn't find Volume 2 of Totally Awesome Hulk anywhere on ComiXology, so I'm confused about what I'm supposed to read after Volume 1. I mean, I want to know what happened to Amadeus Cho, and where is he, and how did he become Brawn? I want to know how he became Brawn. I'm confused. So that's another thing that's not on ComiXology, is Volume 2 of Totally Awesome Hulk. Is there a Volume 2? I don't even know. I don't know what I'm supposed to read after Volume 1. So, overall, I think ComiXology is really good. There was a series on Moon Knight that I have a physical copy of one issue from this series. Basically, he's coming back to being Moon Knight after a long break, a long pause in his vigilante career. So I guess he was just being himself, being Mark Spector or whoever he thinks he is. But sorry, someone just sent me a really cool piece of art that I know he did himself. That must have taken like a good hour. Anyways, so Amadeus Cho is a cool character in my opinion. And I don't know where I was going with that. I was going somewhere. I was really going somewhere. But now I forgot. Because that distracted me. So, overall, ComiXology is really good. And I just remembered where I was going. The Moon Knight series that I have one comic from. So he's coming back from not being Moon Knight for who knows how long. And the Registration Act is still in effect, so he has to register himself. And after he registers himself, he goes back to being Moon Knight for some reason. And there's some guys destroying a bar, basically. They go in there with guns and shoot up the place. And they're like, this place belongs to such and such crime lord I had never heard of. And Moon Knight meets them when they come outside. He's got one of their guys beaten and bloodied with the moon crest burned into his forehead. And he's like, no, this place is my territory. Or something like that. And basically, he's about to go on a rampage because one of his greatest villains has just gotten out of prison. And he doesn't know what's going on. That's how the comic left off. With him holding that guy and everyone else that came out of the bar, he beat up. And then the cops arrived. That's how that Moon Knight comic ended. Let me adjust that. So I'm disappointed in that one comic for not having more, but I guess it's supposed to make you get the entire run for whoever that writer is. So I want to do that, and that is on ComiXology, or at least that one issue that I have is on ComiXology. And now I've gone through a tangent, and it wasn't even... anyways, Also, I got a Namor comic the same day I got that Moon Knight comic. And it's from a event that Marvel had that also no one seems to remember. That event is called something like Star Blasters. Anyways, it's about an alien invasion, and that's all I can tell. I don't want to read the Namor comic without having the full story, and starting from the beginning. Because it's a Marvel event. It's like a big thing. It's like, what's the big one that's going on right now? Right now in mid-2019. What's the big event? War of the Realms. Frick. Couldn't think of the name. I was just talking about it to myself before I started recording. I have a subpar brain nowadays, so bear with me. And yeah. But it is a Marvel event. This Star Blast, and I've never heard of it. And I watch ComiXology and what's the other one? Comics Explained, and all those guys, and I don't know how I've still not heard about this. So, I just want to start from the beginning, and I don't know if that's on ComiXology or not. So, wherever this starts, I probably have to buy one issue at a time. With some things you can buy a volume, and with some things you can only buy one issue at a time, and I don't like that either. So, that's basically my review of ComiXology. It's a cluster frick, like, someone made a box, and whoever is stalking ComiXology with all these comics, they're just dumping it into that box. There's no organization. Well, I mean, there is, but if you want to search something, there's little organization. It's hit or miss finding what you want, and unless you're interested in the weekly updated comics that are right there on the front page, if you want something old, then it might not work out for you. That's all I gotta say is it's not been helpful to me. And that is my review of the ComiXology app. So I'll see you guys next time. I hope I don't get screwed out of something and have to skip a video. So why am I doing a app review when I could have done a story update? Well, basically because I didn't know what day it was. I thought it was Sunday, I guess, because I thought I was gonna have to do a anything fiction video. I don't know why I thought that. I knew it was Wednesday, or I knew it wasn't Sunday. So I don't know why I was stressing about an anything fiction video before coming here to make this. So, yeah, I didn't know what to make for today's video, but anyways, normally on Wednesdays I update you guys on stories that I'm writing. Fan fiction or original fiction. But I don't really have an update. Not yet. I tried some rough draft stuff, and now I got this mess. It's a little discouraging, actually. If anyone wants to step up and help me write, go to my Twitter. There's a link in the bio of my Twitter to my Tumblr, and there you can just DM me, and we can talk. It's simple. I don't know why no one's done it yet, and I really need outside help on these stories. And I've tried enlisting my mom, and, well, she's a busy person. I mean, she tries, but I can't expect this from her. So, I need help, and that's the basis of all of this. I need help. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. I don't know. Peace.